Tac. So thank you very much for letting me present in my research work. So my name is Samuel Guilhuy. I'm from University Rennes 1. I'm a final year PhD student, and I'm working on NLP, and more precisely on argument mining, which is a domain about identifying argument components in political debates, for instance. So, and today I will present a new metric in order to to enable a better transfer learning approach to argument mining. So, do you see that? One of the principal challenges in argument mining is the need of high quality training data, because in order to do deep learning models, so like BERT transformers approach, you need to have large data sets. However, it is very difficult in our fields to annotate a lot of data because you need a very important expertise about the annotation scheme, and most of the time we prefer to have linguists in order to annotate our data. So the vast majority of data sets have very not a lot of data, maybe 10,000 to 20,000 sentences, and it is not enough to train very efficient argument mining models. But we can notice that all the tasks in argument mining have a very similar annotation schemes. It is because everyone is based on the same theoretical theory, so the rhetorical structure theory. But as you want to specify the annotation scheme to your own dataset and on your own need, for instance, if you are annotating students' essays, it's not the same as political debates. So there is some little differences, but not a lot. And I will explain it. The common part is about identification of span components. So where the argument starts and where it ends. And the different part is the label of the argumentation. So, for instance, you can annotate your arguments datasets with things like a value, testimony, reference, or you can also annotate with other annotation schemes like premise and conclusion. So it's very different. And in this research, our goal is to enable transfer learning between these different datasets and annotation schemes. So we will present a novel method in order to analyze the prediction errors in argument components labeling and segment the error in order to better understand the difference between annotation span and labeling task. So, in a first step of our approach, we will conduct experiments about mutualized datasets for only span identification. So it is a binary task where we want to identify argument components. but we don't want to identify which type of argument is it. So normally, the goal of this task is to it is a task which is common between all the different datasets and all the different argument mining datasets. So we hope to improve our results while conducting this first task. We conduct our experiments on 4 datasets. So ARG 2020, it's a middle school students' writings. AURC, which is 8,000 sentences datasets labeled with pro, con, and non words. So it's a dataset where we have a topic and we want to identify the polarity of the sentence regarding this topic. CDCP, it's about financial information, and UKP, it's also about persuasive essays. So as you can see, it's 4 small datasets, and so a classic deep learning approach without transfer learning will not lead to good results. So our model is composed of 2 parts. It's a classic BERT model, which is available on the Hugging Face website, with a conditional random field layer in order to harmonize the labels provided to the different words of our sentences. So our first results leads to this table. So if we train our models separately, so the top section of this table, we can see that we can compare the results with the mutual model. So the mutual model was trained on the 4 trained datasets of the 4 datasets, and then we evaluate and we evaluate the model on each test datasets. So we see that for AURC and CDCP, we have approximately the same results. For ARG 2020, we have a huge improvements. And for UKP, we have a decrease in the results. So we can interpret it as there is a big opportunity for ARG 2020 to use the mutualization of because having more data will be very beneficial for this task. However, UKP is maybe too complex tasks to solve, and is not of the same style of writing than the other datasets, so we have a decrease in performance. So now the goal, so with these results, we only have the identification of the span of the arguments, but we don't have the identification of the label. And so in the next part of this presentation, we will discuss on how to do these second steps. So first, we need to introduce some formalization in order to understand what we are doing. So we consider a sentence, which is composed of n+1 tokens. And we define a segmentation of a sentence. It is so it is a segmentation. So mathematically, it's a sequence of n plus 1 g plus 1 elements, which starts at 0 and end at n plus 1. Yeah. Then we call the labeling, so it's a sequence of label which provides a label to each element of the sequence. So maybe it's easier to present it with a picture. So our sentence is the top line, and then we can see the different segments which will represent the span identification of our models. And we have different, so we have the segments and the labels are associated to each span. So we define the labeling error. So it's the error of having the wrong label. It's very simple. And we count it as a percentage of all the label provided to the segmentations. So the idea here is to understand the distinction. Suppose that we have a segmentation. So the segmentation is fixed, and we have two labeling of the same segmentation, and we want to distinguish between the error due to the first model represents earlier, which computes the segmentation of the sentence, and the error due to the wrong labeling. So the second model we try to identify here is the model which, based on a segmentation, will attribute a label. So the minimal labeling error, so it is what we are looking for. It is so suppose we have two segmentation of the same sentences. So in our context, we suppose that the segmentation A represents the true segmentation of our sentences, and the segmentation B represents the segmentation due to our B represents the segmentation of our model presented in section 1, which is not exactly the same as the segmentation of the test dataset. And we want to identify what will be the best labeling option we have to label the sentence B, the segmentation B, regarding the labelization A and the segmentation A. So we define the minimal labeling error as follows. It's the minimum of the label error represented above. And we also can define the residual error. So suppose that we have we now look at the scale of segments. So we have a segment which, for instance, represents. So we will have an example of it just after. Yes. So we suppose that we have segments of segmentation A and segmentation B. So for example, A3 is the segment 3, 8. B is the segment 2, 8. So the error due to the mislabeling of our second model will be 1 because there is one token which is different from these two segments. So it's the same regarding all the different cases. It's just a question of intersection. So we can see it here. It's an illustration of the above compute calculation. So for instance, the error due to the wrong labeling here is a bit difference between A3 and B2, so it's the red parts. So the difference here is this one. Up. So yeah, so we define the minimal error between the two segmentation has the sum of the residual difference between all the segments. So the idea here is to say that when we have two segmentation, so we cannot have a perfect model for the second part, as the first model has a basic error. And so this error propagates to the second model, and this is the minimal error we can achieve. So this is intermediate results, more about relation with the other error we define above. So we have an equivalence between the minimal error and the minimal labelization error. So now we can compute minor. So the idea here is to define a model where we can pre-train our model on different datasets for the span identification task. And then for the labeling task, we will penalize the labeling model, so the second model, not on the global error of the second model, but on the global error minus the minimal error, because we don't want to penalize the labeling model due to the error of the first model. So we try to separate the error due to the labeling task and the span identification task. However, if we look deeply in the minor computation, it is a bit too simple to define the minor error like that, because it doesn't consider the number of segments in the reference segmentation. So A in the previous case example. To address this challenge, we will add constraints on the number of segmentation. The minimal error is allowed to construct. So we define a new metric, which is minor under constraints. So minimal error under constraints, which is the same metric as before, but subject to the constraints that the different label associated to the segments of B are all distinct. So with this new definition, we can now identify an algorithm in order to compute this error. So first, if both, so the algorithm I will present here is a recursive algorithm because it is a bit more technical to identify, to compute the minimal error under constraints. So the idea is first we have a basic case. So it's the case where our algorithm will end. So suppose that both of our segmentation have the same number of segments at one time. So the only possibility, as we cannot we cannot label the sentence as we want is to provide the same label, so to match each element index I from the A segmentation to the ith elements of the segmentation B. As we proceed recursively, the idea is to take the two segmentations. Maybe they don't have the same number of elements. And we will proceed by dichotomy. We will look at the middle elements. And if the middle elements, we will find the best match for these elements, and then we will compute recursively the left part and the right parts of this segmentation association. As we have multiple choice, we will compute all of them. So it can be a bit time consuming. And same if B is longer than A, we need to consider some elements, and if A is longer than B, it's not exactly the same, but it's very similar. But you get, if you are interested about this, we present this algorithm in our paper. So normally it is a bit more clear with pseudocode. So now we can finally present our model. So this is the main model we present in this article. So first step, so it's a model composed of two modules. So in the first step, we compute the span identification model. So it is a model presented as experimentation in the first section of this presentation. It is composed of a BERT model plus conditional random fields, as before. And once we have the segmentations done, we use a second model, which is also composed of BERT token level estimation. And then we compute minor or minor C in order to regulate the cross-entropy loss of our model. So it enables us to penalize our model just for the labeling parts and not for the span identification parts. Okay. So finally, so this is our final results. So for the both task, so we can see that we have better results while using minor loss, so the minimal error regulation. So and we can see that we have improved results specifically on ARC 2020, which is coherent with the preliminary results we had in the experimentation of section 1. And we can also see that we have slightly inferior results for the minor C loss, as we add the constraint on the final results. This leads to penalize the model regarding this result, the F1 loss, the F1 loss, F1 score of our models. However, if we evaluate our models regarding the minor matrix, for instance, it is because it is also a matrix we can evaluate how a sentence is well segmented and well labelized. we improve the overall results. Up. So limitation of this model. So first, yeah, as I say, a performance discrepancy. And there is a challenge in binary classification. So, for instance, when two argument spans appear consecutively within a sentence, it is difficult to distinguish them with only a binary classification model, which will attribute the value 1 to each token, which is an argument which belongs to an argument span, and 0 to the other. So the next steps in order to improve the binary classification step and the span argument span identification is to use, for instance, bio-tagging models or scheme, annotation scheme, in order to better understand the limitation of argumentative span in this specific case. So as a conclusion, we introduced two novel metrics, minor and minor C, designed to enhance transfer learning across datasets. During the training of our models, these metrics have enabled us to improve the results, especially for ARC 2020, where the initial datasets were very small. So additionally, these new metrics have more consistent results, as explained previously, because we have a better alignments with the inherent structure of the sentences. So in order to improve our model, we have two options. So first, regarding the efficiency, as I said earlier, the algorithm is not very efficient because we have to operate recursively. So we can use techniques like memoization, which enable us to use a cache in order to save results which are computed many times. And also we can reduce the gap between the performance of minor and minor C if we create a family of metric which we can call minor C K, where K is inferior to the number of tokens of the sentence, and it's a trade-off between minor and minor C. So after several iterations of minor C, when we are in some depth of our recursive loop, we can switch to the minor constraints in order to fasten the results and to enable a relaxed approach of minor C. So thank you for your time.